Hey, it's Ruby. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little different because I'm going to be combining my April wrap up with my May TBR. And the reason I'm doing this is because for my April wrap up, a lot of these books were in videos. So I read 4 Ali Hazelwood books that are going to be in Monday's video. You'll see them on Monday. I read all her catalog and I rated them and ranked them all. So you'll see that. And then some other ones were in reading vlogs. So I will link the reading vlogs on a card as we talk about them. But let's talk about the reading vlog situation. So I did do a reading vlog where I read Regency Romance because I had seen all the Bridgerton trailers and I was just very much wanting more. But I mean, we have to wait. We have to wait till May. So I decided to read some Regency Romance, and some of them were with a twist. So first of all, I did reread Romancing Mr. Bridgerton in that reading vlog because I couldn't quite remember what happened in the book that didn't happen in the show and vice versa, because the show's giving us something different, which I like because, as I said in that reading vlog, I do like when the shows and movies are different from the books because I already read that story. I want a new one. But I know that I'm in the minority. I know people love for it to be exactly the same as it was in the book, and that's just not me. So I'm happy that I know now that I reread the book that the show's going to be different, because the book was boring. I was bored. I feel like nothing really happened. It was just Colin not wanting to like Penelope, fighting it, and then accepting it, and then being a dick to her. I just don't love book Colin, but I do like show Colin. So I hope that it's just gonna be good. And then the added thing with like her getting courted by somebody else, and then him teaching her or coaching her how to flirt. I think the show's just gonna be far better. But I did rate my reread of Romancing Mr. Bridgerton 2 stars. I needed more. I needed more Regency Romance, so I kept going with 2 more books. I read Half a Soul. Again, I'm not going to talk too much about them because I do have the vlog, but this one had really cool vibes because it was Regency Romance, main characters being presented into society to find a husband, but with magic. So there was fairies in this. Our main character, Dora, gets presented into society, although her aunt treats her like shit, but she does allow her to find a husband. And so she's trying to find a husband for the sake of her cousin. But when she was young, she got attacked by a fairy who snatched half her soul. So she cannot feel emotions like we do. She barely feels a little something. Like, they're just very dimmed down. So she can't feel like ecstasy and anger, but she will feel discomfort, sometimes contentment, stuff like that, just dulled emotions. And so we follow her along as she finds her romance and she fights for her soul. I did like it. I did like the little twist. I love the characters in this. They were very cute. It was just a very cutesy read that I didn't love, but I did like, and I don't regret reading. I will continue on. I think this is a trilogy, so there's 2 more books. So I will continue on because I did like it. I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, 3 stars. I do recommend it if you like Regency Romance. And then the surprise of the reading vlog, A Fragile Enchantment. I wanted to read this beautiful fairy edition and love it, and luckily I did because I wanted to keep it. In this one, we follow our main character, Neve, who is a seamstress, and she has magic. So she's able to sew emotions or memories into the clothing that she makes. She's able to make the wearer feel or see things, as well as people that are looking at whoever's wearing the clothing. So she's got talent. And she ends up getting hired by the Prince Regent to create clothing for his little brother, the Crown Prince, because he's back in society and he's also engaged to be married, even though he did not choose it. But the Prince Regent hires her, and so she goes to the castle and she does just that. She makes the prince clothing, and she ends up striking a friendship that turns into something more. There's a lot going on in here. There's a lot more than just that, but I really liked it. I thought it was really fun. I love the characters, the little friend group that we get of like the 5 characters. I really enjoyed, and I ended up rating this 4.25 stars, which was pretty high. I was very surprised, but I really like that. Now, for books that you didn't see in the reading vlog, we have the very first book that I read in the month, very early on, Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I read Caraval, the trilogy, to get to these because people were obsessed with these, are obsessed with these, love these. And so I had really high hopes, really high expectations for this one, and I did not love it. And I think I know why. I think it's because for the Caraval trilogy, I did like Caraval book 1 because I liked Caraval, like the event, the spectacle that was Caraval. And then in book 2, when the Fates started getting introduced, I lost interest. I do not like the Fates. They bore me. And so Jax is a Fate, and so because of Fates are involved, I don't know, I just feel pretty bored. I felt like nothing really happened in this, and that is an unpopular opinion. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. I will continue on with the trilogy because I have it, and I know book 2 is everybody's favorite. So I'll continue, but I just hope that something happens because I felt like it was really boring, which kills me to say because I know it's an unpopular opinion, but that's my truth. And then I read First Light Wins, which is a thriller. Everybody's been reading this, rating it pretty high, so of course I wanted to listen to the audiobook, and it was okay. I felt like it was good. It was entertaining, but it wasn't anything super different or super out there. We follow our main character, who is, I really don't know what her job position is called. She's kind of like, I really don't even know what to name her, but she works for this man, and he will send her to different locations to extract information from certain individuals that he can use to his advantage. And so she's always got different aliases. She disguises herself, she plays a part to get that information, and then she's out of there on to the next job. And so she's at her current job right now, and she is falling for the guy, falling for the job. She is feeling some kind of way because she has feelings for him now, and she doesn't want to hurt him, but her job is literally to hurt him. So yeah, she's feeling conflicted, but she moves in with him, and he starts introducing her to all his friends. And one day they go out to this party, and he sees an old friend and the friend's new girlfriend, and she introduces herself to our main character, and she literally is giving her the same name, where she's from, like her whole life story. And her main character is like, what the you know what I mean? Because this girl is pretending to be her essentially, and she's like, did my boss send her to get me? Like, what's going on? And so we take off from there, and she goes on this whole thing trying to figure it out. Thriller. But I just felt like it was kind of predictable, but it was still fun. It was still okay. So I gave it 3 stars. I do recommend it because a lot of people are giving it 5 stars, but I just couldn't, because I was like, no, like, no. But then after that, I read Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I listened to the audiobook because I loved Better Than the Movies, and so I needed more. But this one unfortunately did not live up to my expectations. I really thought I was gonna love it just as much as Better Than the Movies, but I didn't. And I think it's because these characters felt really young, and also I felt like the storyline, I didn't care. I didn't relate, and I didn't care. It was dealing a lot with divorce and being children of divorce and dealing with that. And my parents are together, they're married, so I can't relate. And also I'm not empathetic, which I've said before with these fictional characters. The book boyfriend was just not Wes. Wes in Better Than the Movies is just the sweetest boy ever, and this guy, I just wasn't very impressed. So I ended up giving this one 2.5 stars because it was just okay. and I probably will never think about it or reread it. I'm already forgetting the story a little bit, so that's unfortunate, but I don't regret reading it. It was short, so no harm, no foul. So those are the 10 books that I read. I'm currently reading Crown of Midnight. I'm reading Fourth Wing. Well, I'm listening to the graphic audio because it's fun, and like I'm halfway with that, with both of those. I also started Ruby Spencer's Whiskey Year, which was on my TBR last month, but I don't know about that one. I might DNF. And then let's see, what else am I reading? I'm listening to Dune on audiobook, which I just started it. I'm like on chapter 1, but so far so good. So those are just a couple of books on my May TBR that I'm just listening to because I do pick up random books. I'm a mood reader, so those are those. But also what I plan to read in May are these 10, 11-ish books. Let's get to them. First of all, just like I did with Ali Hazelwood, I am reading Emily Henry books. I don't know if I'm going to read them all, but I am going to read these 3 at least, which is People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read, Book Lovers. I'm also going to read Funny Story, but I have it on my Kindle on ebook because I'm going to wait for the paperback. I'm not buying the hardcover. And then I've already read Happy Place twice, so then we'll rank those. And I don't know if I'm going to read any other Emily Henry's, but I'll read those. And then I do intend to start Flawless by Elsie Silver, or start the Chestnut Spring series, and I at least want to read this one. This should be such a quick read. The font's pretty big and it's not very long. So I'll be reading this one. I'm excited to read the Chestnut Spring series because I want to get to Wild Love, but I feel like I need to read these first. So I'll read that one. And then I also want to read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I got this when it released and it sounds like it's really fun. People say that it is really fun and goofy, silly, but also deep and impactful. And I feel like Abby Jimenez books are like that, where yes, they'll make you giggle and kick your feet, but also pull at your heartstrings. If you're a normal person, if you're like me, probably not, but I love her. I will read anything that she writes. I also want to read Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Summer gifted this to me from my Amazon wish list, so I very much want to read it. And I saw on Goodreads she already started it, so I'm already behind on the game. So I'm going to read this for sure. Like this one for sure, I am reading it because she gifted it to me. And I'll also read the other one that she gave me. I just don't know if I'll get to it this month, but I will for sure read it. If you give me something, I will read it, like 100%. So I'll be reading Binding 13 and hoping that I fall in love with Johnny Kavanaugh like everybody else. As I said, I'm like 50% into Crown of Midnight, so I'm hoping to start Heir of Fire. I'm reading these very, very slowly because I only read them for like 30 minutes at night sometimes. I just felt like the first half of Crown of Midnight was slow. I'm not gonna lie, it was slow. I know that the ending of most of her books are where it's at, but the first half of Crown of Midnight was slow, so it took me a while to get through it. But now that I'm to the latter half, I'm hoping that I'll pick up the speed. Next, I want to read Where the Dark Stands Still. I know nothing about this, but it is a YA book and it looks very gothic. It says, what dark secrets lie hidden in the spirit wood? Ages 14 and up. It is YA, so we'll see. Again, not too long, but I don't know. I just feel like this cover got me from the start. As soon as I saw it, I wanted to read it, so I'm hoping to get to that one. And then the last one that I would like to get to is A Faked Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. This was part of my spring TBR. I had a bunch of books that I want to read in the springtime, and so I'm hoping to read this one. I've been seeing mixed reviews on this, but I don't know. I feel like I'll love it because it's romantasy, and I really tend to love romantasy. I'm also intrigued for the Norse mythology. Like, I don't know. I want to know, will I even pick it up? Because I'm not very knowledgeable about Norse mythology, so we'll see. But again, I'm excited for this one. And I just got a notification that my Powerful book is being shipped out from Barnes and Noble. Powerful by Lauren Roberts. So I probably will read that. I think they're shipping it to Texas, so I'm gonna have to have my brother ship it to me in Maryland. But yeah, that is the plan. However, I am a mood reader, so like I said, I did pretty good in April. Let's see if I can keep it up with May. And I'm just hoping, I just give me 1 5-star, just one. April was not good. It was not it. So hopefully one of these is. If you've read any of the books that I have on my May TBR, let me know if you loved any of them or you hated them. But especially if you loved them, because that way I pick it up. I need to stay out of a reading slump. So let me know. As always, thank you so much for spending time with me. If you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you very soon with another one. Bye.